Hello everybody, this is Kaminari. It's been a while since I've done a video. This is my first cultural shock video. What is cultural shock is I analyze like certain video games. Anyways, first thought up by Gaijin Goomba, shout out to him. But no one actually done something with Pokemon and the Celtic influences or the Celtic cultures. What's the difference between Celtic and Gaelic? Believe it or not, they're both the same. It's just the languages are quite different. You got cute Celtic that has your Irish and your Scottish and your Manx. And then you got your Peak Celtic, which you got some of the Welsh. But they're all the same kind of language. However, the people are the same too. Pokemon has a lot of cultural influences. Mostly they are Japanese folklore. Some are Chinese, American, French, German, and even Celtic. Yes, Celtic. In the spirit of my favorite holiday, St. Patrick's Day, I will point out the influence in Pokemon. The first thing is is the region of Kalos. Kalos is based on France, but France was not a country until later in the medieval years. This makes sense. Believe it or not, France was known as Gaul. What is Gaul is? Gaul is like an ancient empire. It's also known as Celtica, but it doesn't like break down into like smaller groups, like what they're now known as modern day Belgium, Switzerland, northern Italy, modern day Poland, some parts of Spain, England, Ireland, and of course France. France is like one of them, but it's like the main goal. However, Gaul was kind of weak, so it was taken over by the Roman Empire and some other Germanic tribes, but it's the culture is still there. Their own culture is still there to this day. Let's see. Like I said, the Gaelic and the Celtic are the same, but it's dependent on location and language. Hence, there are actually, if you look throughout Kalos for any different reasons, you'll probably see like most parallels. This is going to be one of the parallels. Another Celtic influence is Genosage and the stone arrangement. You remember Genosage? It's like the coastal area where the ultimate weapon is. You know, that little weapon. Anyway, is kind of like a reference to Stonehenge in Wiltshire, England. Wiltshire, England in ancient times is considered part of Celtica, or the Gaelic territory. Nobody knows how or why it was built. Some historians and archaeologists said it was a Celtic temple. The Celtic religion is polytheistic. It has multiple gods. A good example of the god would be Legend of Zelda's, well, it's not Legend of Zelda, but it's Epona, the goddess of livestock. Okay, Pokemon themselves are cultural influence. One of them is Keldeo. Now, I'm very passionate of some of the Pokemon. The reason why is because this particular Pokemon is so close to me because I have a fondness of a certain being, or it's considered a fairy, but it's not considered a fairy at all. Keldeo is a water horse Pokemon. This Pokemon name and design is as of the Kelpie and the unicorn. What is a Kelpie is, to be very frank, Kelpie is a type of water horse, and it hangs out at the rivers and the lochs or lakes. You more see them in Scotland and some parts of Ireland. They're considered dangerous, but sometimes they come out of the water looking for a bride. There's a legend where a Kelpie turned to a man and he was looking for someone to love and be his bride. And let's just say it's a happy ending. They're like an equivalent of a Japanese kappa, except kappa likes cucumbers, and I'm not sure about how to appease a Kelpie, but they love to eat children and women. So what they do is, if you see a horse wandering kind of soaking wet and you want to pet it or ride it, you'll end up sticking to its adhesive hide, and they'll drag you to the bottom of the lake and drown you, and then they'll eat you. Yeah, never go near a watery grave or something like that. Speaking of Pokemon and Pokemon types, another one is the fairy type. Now, this is a brand new one that entered in Generation 6. This is why I think is more of the Celtic French region for Kalos, is because he added the fairy type. Now, there are always forms of fairies throughout the world. Some in Italy, some in France, some in Ireland, Scotland, England, Germany, even the Nordic regions such as Sweden and Finland. But this is prominent because actually the fairy type makes a lot of sense in the Celtic cultural, and that is because there always been the mischievous types, and some are very benevolent. Some of them is actually malevolent or want to do harm. Fairies are depending on the species of the fairy in question. Fairies in Celtic lore are known as sheath. Okay, it's an odd pronunciation. I'm bad at Gaelic, so forgive me if we're mistaken. What they are is they go into, they have two types. You got the Seelie, which is the actual fairies, and then the Unseelies that are kind of like creature-like, not humanized. Kelpie is one of them. And they're actually quite nocturnal. I'll give you a good example of a nocturnal fairy. You've ever heard of a brownie? If you never heard, like, for example, the Cleveland Browns' original mascot is a brownie, and a brownie is actually a home elf. Yeah, think of Dobby from not Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. What they do during the night, they either do a little bit of housework, or repairing smaller items. For example, shoes, or cleaning the floors a little bit. They're actually good spirits, and in order for them to contact the spirits, or at least contact the brownie, you just give a bit of milk, and that was it. And that was like, hey, thank you. Another one, you're probably never heard of it. I can't pronounce it correctly, as it is in Gaelic, but it's called the fairy lover. The fairy lover is actually malevolent. It may seem harmless, but it's not. It's not harmless at all. What they are is, it comes out as a beautiful woman. And they come to the artist in question. For example, Sean O'Reilly is doing something for his craft, and here comes Sally walking in, and she looks cute and all, and he falls in love with her and uses her as a muse. They are meant to be muses, however, they drain the life force of the artist or their victims. It's usually male. And they're technically an Irish vampire. Yes. Fun fact, Bram Stoker is Irish. Yes, he wrote Dracula, so that's probably where vampires originally came from. They're not really come from Romania. Sylveon is another Pokemon as a part of the brand new fairy type. Unfortunately, it does not look like a fairy. I mean, all it is just like ribbons and bows and pink and blue for the shinies. The name of it is a reference to the Sylph, which is a very airy fairy. It's also known as an elemental. They represent air. Another elemental would have been a salamander, and we already got Charmander as part of that, but it's more of a Germanic. And its weaknesses make a lot of sense. They're weak to poison and steel. Why poison? Is because poison represents the corruption of said environment, like pollution. Like if you have like oil in the water, like crude oil, that will ruin the ecosystem. And fairies represent the purity of nature. And some of it is actually side note to all this. The fairy move pool, I failed to mention, the fairy move pool makes a lot of sense. Moonblast because it's nocturnal, fairy wind due to how Sylveon, how some fairies are air spirits. Another one would have been play rough because they're rather mischievous and they like to play. A good example. Steel is actually is rather odd to point out. Steel has like two variable reasons why they are strong against fairies. One of them is if you think of the magic, and then you got technology. Magic is more of belief in it, and if fairies use magic in order to get stuff done, while technology, which is a brand new thing, is all gizmos and wires and gears and so on and so forth. And they see magic as obsolete. Technically, I think technology is obsolete if you think about it, but magic is considered infinite. And then you've got the actual fairy weakness. It's an old belief that if you carry iron with you, you will repel fairies from you. And that's because iron is poison to the fairies. Yes, my friends, it is iron that repels fairies. Also silver. There are some weaknesses. Some fairies are weak to silver. And steel makes a lot of sense. Some people say, oh, it's this and that, but it's not true. It's actually, if you look up many lores that is based on fairies and metal objects, they will tell you that it is iron that repels fairies. Now, there's they're strong against dragons, and that's because fairies and dragons are mythical beings. They don't really exist. I mean, I believe they exist, right? Tell me, fairies are real, right? Yeah, okay, another one I'm going to mention is a Pokemon move. And this came out in, I think, Generation 2 or Generation 3. I don't know, I don't remember. But it's a prominent fire move. Will-O-Wisp. If you never heard of Will-O-Wisp, it's a move that can burn the opponent Pokemon. And it is taught by fire Pokemon. However, this is not considered a real fire. It's just a little flare of light. Will-O-Wisps are naturally a phenomenon that happens where just gas bubbles from the local bogs just lit up around with the surrounding air. And this, what that does, it creates a little ball of light. Legend has it that if you follow the Will-O-Wisp, you'll go to treasure. And this makes a little sense with, if you ever watched Brave, and Merida follows the little Will-O-Wisp to treasure. But it's an old legend. Now, speaking of other theories, I'm going to mention a very interesting mystery. And actually, I came up with the theory myself, but you guys would not believe me if I tell you. In Aluminum City, you go into, there's a building somewhere in the near north of the city. And you go into the second floor. And then there'll be a small cutscene. The room will dark, then lit up, and you see a girl floating through you. And then turning around and said, "You're not the one." And then she disappears. Then, when you see her in Hotel Rochesame, you will see her again in one of the rooms, and she made comments like, "I'm waiting for the elevator to ring," or something. Now here's the theory. Actually, it's more of my answer to the mystery itself. She is a reference of an old fairy, an old Seelie chief known as the Banshee. Yes, the Banshee! She is the Banshee. Yeah, no, she's not screaming. There is a reason why I call her the Banshee. Banshee is, she is a type of fairy, sometimes a ghost of a woman, but she takes in several forms. So the most notable forms that we've known today would have been her as an old hag, and one of her main thing is she screams or wails. The scream and the wails are actually a sign that someone in nobility is dying or will die soon. My theory was, when you see her, the reason why she say "you're not the one" is because you're not the one she's after. That means it's a good thing. If she says that you're not the one, it's a good thing. Your character's not going to die, but someone is. And that's why she was in the hotel. We don't know who is going to die. By the looks of it, it is someone with who is very rich. And probably of nobility. Now, I may be wrong by some of you. Please don't get me wrong. It's just a theory, okay? It's just my poke theory, so don't worry about it. I swear to God, I don't mean anything. But the Banshee is actually like I said, the Banshee is a Gaelic fairy, or a Celtic fairy, and is more prominent. It goes after noble families or known Celtic families. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them, to say the least, because there's very little about my family. Okay, a little thing, factoid is, I am Irish. Yes, I am Irish. My last name is McLaughlin. Okay, I will admit, remember, Common Irish is a screen name or a stage name I've taken up lately. McLaughlin translates in Gaelic as sons of the lake, or descendants of the lake. Mick really means son or descendant, and loch is technically a lake. But there are several spellings. But the spelling I'm accustomed to is the two spellings. There's McLaughlin with an A and then McLaughlin with an O. Where I fall is I fall with the O. You learn a little bit of Gaelic as you speak. But not all the Micks, the Macs, the O's are well-known Irish last names or surnames. I know it's off topic with Pokemon, but like I said, it makes a lot of sense. I know this is kind of late or a day late. I had so much things to do. But yeah, I hope you like this, and I'm sorry I don't have the pictures and the videos. I wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day weekend, and God bless, and thank you.